Have you ever had a situation where you say to yourself, something's just not adding up? What's really going on? In Esther 4 and 5, Esther finally comes to the point where she's trying to figure out, why is her cousin Mordecai in sackcloth? Why is he in grief, mourning, sorrowful? What's going on? So she starts to ask questions and to find out what's really happening with Mordecai. And Esther does get down to the bottom of what's happening. So Mordecai begins to send word to let her know the facts of the situation. He was not acting from emotions. He had receipts. He sends Esther a copy of the decree from Haman to annihilate all of the Jews. And essentially, he's now calling on Esther for help. But now Esther's concern is that she really does not have the authority to go before the king at this time. She has not been called by the king for 30 days. So here that tells us that right now Esther is insecure. She is uncertain about her position as the queen, and she goes on to inform Mordecai that it simply just isn't Persian's royal protocol to go before the king without his consent. She may be the queen, but her access is still limited, and being queen just does not give her the authority to go before the king whenever she wishes. She is the queen, but he is the king. And quite frankly, Esther is in her comfort zone. She's in the palace. She's enjoying all of her royal apparel. She has maid servants. I'm sure she's wearing all of her beautiful jewelry, perfume, and probably the best food money can buy. So she's not feeling any of this. But Mordecai lets her know this is serious business, and who's to say that you're not in the position that you're in for such a time as this? Beauty obviously has gotten Esther in the door, but now it is time for her to answer the assignment of her calling. Now, this is a situation that Esther cannot hide from, because all of this is happening right at the king's gates. And that problem will persist. It will continue. It will sit at the gate until you can't ignore it any longer. But now that Esther has clarity, she understands what's happening, Mordecai has instructed her to go before the king. Esther's first response was limitation. And here we do see Esther's hesitation. She may be the queen, but she has not learned her true influence, and she simply does not understand her true power. And we already know what can happen when a queen crosses a king. So Esther understands the severity of the nature of what's happening, but again, she's very insecure at this point. She has no reassurance of her true and actual position as queen. The king has not called her by name for 30 days, so she doesn't know how the king will accept her. Permission to see her is also punishable by death. And Mordecai is letting her know your crown won't save you. So now Esther is forced to connect her privilege with her purpose. And Mordecai goes on to tell her, if you won't do it, deliverance will come, with or without you. Because God's plan is unstoppable. God does not need Esther to fulfill his plan. Esther's participation determines her destiny, not God's. Now, Esther begins to step into her calling. She says, if I perish, I perish. She's ready to go before the king. So here's what we see. Number one, destiny requires your clarity. Number two, calling requires courage. Number three, leadership requires obedience. And number four, purpose requires surrender. When you are placed, prepared, and positioned, it's now time for you to respond. And this is an example of having a calling on your life. It is when position becomes responsibility, because you are the purposeful woman.